Hello and welcome to Character Unlock episode 62, your fortnightly surprise worth of gaming stuff.
Not even goodness, just stuff.
No, it just exists in a world around your ears. I'm hosting John. With me is Brooker. Brooks, how are we, mate?
I'm alright, buddy. I'm alright. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm surprised we managed to start recording within 29 minutes of actually, being on the call with each other.
That's not bad.
Especially seeing as you didn't actually have the recording started.
No. I don't know what you're talking about. I was recording all the time.
Dumbass.
No, mate. This is rare. It's not even 8:30. We've been on the phone for half an hour and we're recording.
Exactly. It's like we're prepared, for actually doing something. I mean,
know what it is, don't you?
What is it?
Because we're recording a day early.
It is. And
so the next episode is going to take us almost an hour to get to it before we start recording, so there'll be an extra day.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's you know what the real reason is why we're starting to record early? And this is the surprise everyone. Me and Brooker played a game together this weekend.
I know, right?
We actually had a chance to talk. It's like we don't actually talk that much, just in general, outside of the recordings, because one of us doesn't work in the same office as the other one.
No.
So we kind of have to get the usual me and him gas bagging for the best part of about
normal
4 hours.
bullshit.
Yeah, catch up of just in general being friends thing.
Yeah, man.
So yeah,
It's half the fun of the podcast.
The fact that we actually managed to play a game together for the first time this month, at the very least, I think we
first time this year, definitely, because it is only February.
Are you sure? I thought we played something in January. I don't know what it would have been.
I don't know. I don't think we've played anything together since A Way Out.
No, we must have played something else.
We kept threatening to play Far Cry and never did.
Did we not play Far Cry together?
Nope.
No.
I
suppose. No, I don't think we ever did join into each other's games. I guess not. That's
being
really
a grown-up
bad.
shit sucks, man.
Yeah, it's really bad that we never got to play the one game that we really, really fucking wanted to play together.
Is New Dawn co-op?
I really hope so.
So we can spend 3 months going, we'll play together one day, and never actually doing it.
The thing is that one of us will probably not have New Dawn at the same time as the other one. Again.
True.
Are you buying New Dawn, or are you just renting it?
No, I'm renting it. Not because I'm not convinced by it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but this year so far it's been so fucking expensive. I can't justify 50 quid on a game. I've got Far Cry's. No, I don't. I've got Fright Fests. I've got Holidays. I've got EGX, and just a wealth of other things to spend money on.
Yeah.
Far Cry, no.
Yeah, I'm looking at my year, and it's very quickly becoming very expensive. Now I'm going to my second racing event for the year.
Yeah.
It
adds up.
Yeah, 2 racing events. Going to EGX. Still undecided if we're going to go to Rezzed.
I think I've booked a ticket for a day for Rezzed.
I think I've got the Saturday booked as well.
Yeah.
I think literally just for the sake of I've got a ticket, it didn't cost a lot.
No, it's the same as we did last year. Nip a train down, go in, wander around.
Be done in like an hour and a half.
Last year we were back just after lunch. It was that crap.
Yeah, we were down there for opening. That's the thing. And it's like the queue was almost non-existent. It's like we were in and out faster than we'd actually managed to spend playing on almost any of the games.
Yeah.
It was really fucking bizarre. I mean, if regular EGX was like that, then, one, it'd be incredibly shit, but 2, probably be a lot better experience because there was no queuing.
It'd be much cheaper.
Yeah.
To be fair, EGX this year isn't costing half as much as EGX the last couple of years would have cost.
Well, that's the thing, is that the total cost for all of us to be going into the hotel B&B thing is less than the cost of one of us going into a fucking Premier Inn.
Yep. So yeah, we're doing all right out of that.
Yeah. Technically, we're coming away with a marginal profit,
Yeah,
even though it's actually hella expensive still.
yeah. But yeah, that'll be a laugh. Actually, I'm quite looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Basically,
Uh,
basically stealing someone's house for 5 days.
it's a good way of doing it. I think you should Airbnb your own house.
My house ain't
But
really that big.
I was going to say, do it for those many times of the year that you're not at home
I said what
with
once
the
a
whole
year.
family. You and the whole family are not home.
No. Sadly, the only time that we're all not home this year, well, I say sadly, I'm not sad about it at all. My sister will be staying and looking after the dog because I can't take the dog away with me
No.
as much as I
Especially
would love to.
especially when you have to put the dog for so much time in fucking quarantine in the kennels. And
Yep,
it's like by the time you actually allow them out, it's like you're going home
yep,
and then they have to spend the next month in the fucking quarantine kennels in our country,
yep.
despite the fact they didn't actually go anywhere.
No, I'm not doing that to my dog. Actually, I like and respect my dog far too much for that shit.
Yeah.
But
Not
yeah,
saying that people shouldn't do it. Obviously, they actually want to go out and spend time with their dog while they go on holiday, but
yeah.
it depends on how long you plan on being out of the fucking country
But
for.
listen, we're only going away for a week. If we were going away for like 6 months, I would say, yeah, we'll bring the dog. But yeah, me little sister can stay in the house and look after the dog and eat all my food, and you know that'd be fine. But yeah, but it's because shit like that. It's like New Dawn and Metro Exodus and Crackdown and all of that. That's all rentals or Game Pass. I think
Yep.
the only thing that might be a purchase, and it just depends on what kind of deal I can get a bit closer to the time, will be Mortal Kombat. Because Mortal Kombat is just that's my jam.
Yeah, yeah. I know how you feel about Mortal Kombat
I'm
and Injustice games and well,
I think Justice is great fun. Actually, I love the fighting mechanics that NetherRealm do, and I like how their fighting games evolve. But at the same time, I'm still struggling to find news on a decent fight stick for Xbox for Mortal Kombat 11 because as much as I'm quite good with a controller, I'm better with a fight stick, and I'd like to have the time to take one of these games online and do some damage or not.
yeah. Well, the odds of you getting a fight stick now are very slim, seeing as we're probably going to end up with a next generation of consoles in the next 2 years.
I know, and that sucks balls. Not the new console thing, the fight stick thing.
Yeah. Well, it's
Although the new console thing sucks balls as well. I can't afford another console.
no. Well, not unless you give up going to EGX Fright Fest and all that jam,
Well, no, it's not happening.
or just not going to Italy.
That's definitely not happening.
I meant next year. You don't
Well,
need to go to.
to be fair, this year's kind of a big deal because it's wedding anniversary and stuff like that, and we promised we'd go, so we're going. But yeah,
Yep.
next year we'll go to sunny Kent. Or
No one that
no,
should ever choose to go to Kent.
Kent's quite expensive. We're going to go to not quite so sunny Norwich.
Norwich is actually quite expensive as well, to be fair.
Ipswich then.
It's not the shitty cousin of Norwich.
Exactly.
We've probably just upset a lot of people from Suffolk. Or
Nope.
Norfolk,
Because they
or wherever
don't
they are.
Yeah.
Somewhere over there.
Yeah.
You could always go to Somerset.
I could. To be fair,
It's got summer in the name.
and it does kind of roll into the whole like Airbnb conversation. Like we've a couple of times we've gone away and we've like Airbnb or cottages for you, or I don't know, farms for hire or something. And we've done that, and it's been really cool, right? Just staying in an apartment, and if you do it in country, you can take the dog, and it's great.
Yep.
And
Oh, yeah.
we always go somewhere nice. You go somewhere like near the beach or with plenty of country walking, and dog can knacker herself out, and kid can fuck off to bed, and we can sit and watch films like we do at home.
Yeah. In someone else's home. It's
Exactly.
always nice. Yeah, I think I did an Airbnb thing in Scotland with the mother,
Yeah.
stepdad, sister, and the mutt.
All right.
And it was really nice to actually have a decent holiday. I mean, it's fucking Scotland,
Yeah.
but so it's fucking cold. There was no phone signal whatsoever while I was out there. and it was in the middle of the Euros from 2016.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and it was really cool. And the dog was fucking exhausted the entire time.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing,
like,
because you let them off and you let them find, you let them run around somewhere they've never been before.
yeah.
They just knacker themselves out.
It was hilarious because every time someone would leave the living room to go off, like go for a piss or go get something out of the kitchen, he jumped down off the sofa and then was so visibly exhausted that you would just say his name and he would just immediately turn around and just try and jump back up onto the sofa. Because like he wanted to follow whoever it was out because I don't know, wanted to get like a treat or whatever it was out of the fucking kitchen. But
Yeah,
it's like immediately just went, no, I'm going back to sleep.
fair
I'm
enough.
fucking knackered.
Yeah. Pro tip: you can use the same uh, theory with kids. Just
All
let them
right.
off somewhere they've never been before and let them run themselves around.
Let them exhaust themselves so they just collapse.
Exactly.
And then you have to carry the kid.
It's a small sacrifice to make for a good night's sleep.
Especially if you can put like a strap around the kid so you can carry them like a bag.
Exactly. I just sew Velcro to her hands so she can hold her hands together around my neck.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. You and your fucking neck problems as it
I
is.
know. Yeah, that's the problem, the neck issue, not the fact that I've sewn things to my kid's hand.
Look, I'm more worried about your own health. Uh, fucking hell. All right. So, as you can probably tell, we're skipping news because it's like nothing's happened
No.
in 2 weeks
Hey, we're
at
just gonna
all.
have to like just skip doing news at all, like ever,
Yeah.
because we have more weeks where we just go and there's no news, and then move on to what we've been playing.
I
Instead, you
yeah.
just have to kind of go, yeah, this is us, and yeah, this is what we've been playing. And if something comes up with regards to what you've been playing, it's like, oh yeah, did you see that this happened? Do that instead.
Yeah, I think yeah, it's definitely the way forward is that we should just organically add news in if news happens, but otherwise just ignore the fact that there's no news
Yeah.
because there's usually no news.
No.
Everyone's keeping quiet, and I'm guessing it's mostly because they're waiting for Microsoft and Sony announcements
Yeah.
of some variety.
Well, Sony have just said they're going to do their own kind of show thing, haven't they? And I think it might even be this month, which is
Yeah,
interesting. So it looks like they might be going because they're not doing E3 this
E3.
year, are they?
No.
They didn't do PlayStation Experience last year, so I reckon it looks like they might end up doing like the whole. Because I think they put out a press release or something that said like E3 is a trade show that hasn't evolved with the times, but because the world is online and all that kind of shit. Actually, the best way to do it is like the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, the Nintendo Direct has had higher and higher ratings every single time they've done one at
Yeah.
E3.
Oh, absolutely. Uh,
Whereas people slated Sony the last time because they're trying to say it hasn't evolved with the times, when in reality what they did was they forced people into one room to show off The Last of Us and then moved them into another room.
But I mean, I don't. I think Sony's idea was good. Its execution of said idea was pretty fucking awful
Yeah,
at E3 last year, and they were the laughing stock, of the show. So I can see why they maybe want to not go back. But yeah, I think they probably got a point. It's just like Nintendo Directs. They have what, like one every 6 weeks or 2 months or something,
yeah,
and they always show something, and they're always well received.
yeah,
That's the way forward.
and it bring takes the costs way down because you just have a dude standing in front of a green screen.
Yeah, well, this is something that Konami. Is it Konami that does Pez?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is something Konami used to do. I don't think they do it anymore, but they used to, like, the day before E3, the E3 presser started. So if the E3 presser started like Monday night, Sunday night Konami would have a press conference, and basically their press conference would be what Nintendo Directs are now. One dude standing in front of a green screen while shit goes on in the background, telling you about what's going on. Oh, and here's some video footage, and here's a trailer, and
Yeah.
that's it. And it would be, they'd stream it out from their servers, completely separate from E3, and it would just be, it cost them 50 quid to put out,
Yeah.
as opposed to hundreds of thousands buying space at the LA Convention Center.
Yeah, renting space at the LA Convention Center, paying an absolute fortune in props, in sets, filling the room out with massive screens that they probably had to get hold of some way, paying a guy a fucking fortune to hook it all up. Teams and absolute teams of people working their fucking arse off
Yeah.
for an hour and a half segment of two people standing on a stage just talking about stuff and
Yep.
then pointing at screens when you could pay, what, one green screen room, two guys to
Yeah.
chat in front of the green screen, and you could then immediately just upload it all to YouTube just when you could be bothered.
Yep. Exactly.
A timed upload to go out at 2 p.m. on the day of their choice, local time, and just go boom, done, E3,
Yep.
and then dust their hands off and drop the mic, walk off into the sunset,
Yep.
and shake their dog.
And shake their fucking dog every time. Don't get me wrong, right? So I quite like E3, and I do enjoy watching it. And as much as I'm, painfully angry by 4 o'clock Wednesday morning because I'm sick to the back teeth of watching these fucking conferences, and I'm still waiting for Sony's one to start because they're always fucking late. I do enjoy it, and I think a lot of them put on good show. I think Microsoft every year put on a good show, and they're always entertaining. They don't always show stuff that I'm interested in. If I never saw another Forza or Halo advert, I wouldn't be sad. But Bethesda, I know you don't like Bethesda, but their shows always are interesting.
Yeah.
I think this year's one or last year's one, starting with Andrew WK was amazing. And they showed Doom, and okay, their game output as such wasn't great. The back end of last year.
And more about Fallout 76 being fucking hilariously terrible.
Well, yeah. But I like the Fallout, or not Fallout. Bethesda always, obviously they're not because they're a company, they have to make money, but they always seem like they give a shit about the people that are playing their games. And it's a lie I can quite gladly get behind. If I feel like they care about what I'm doing, then I feel like maybe I should give them my money and play their games. Which I'm quite happy. And I say the same for Microsoft. Phil Spencer loves what he fucking does, man. And he loves getting up on that stage every year. And you can see it. That dude is loving it.
Yeah.
I respond quite well to that. Again, even if he's talking about Forza and Halo, games I couldn't give two shits about, he's clearly having a good time. I will sit and watch him do it quite happily. So I will still sit and watch E3. If half the people that usually go to E3 aren't there, I might not book time off of work and sit up to the middle of the night to watch it. I might just watch them at work the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
yeah, I mean, it's not going to be spectacular, probably not.
No. And Sony are right. At the end of the day, it's a trade show. And
It is, yeah.
It's a trade show that gets a lot of public attention, but, it doesn't affect anybody. I don't want to use the term kind of hardcore gamers, but hardcore gamers watch E3. Or committed gamers maybe is probably the better term, because I'm not a hardcore gamer. Not anymore. And I haven't been for a lot of years. I'm a pretty committed gamer, though. And I'm committed to watching these shows, and I enjoy them, but, my wife don't give two shits about E3.
No.
She couldn't give a... I go to work, no one gives a flying fuck about E3.
Well, I care.
Well, no, but you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
Even people that play games at work, and there are a few people at work that play games that we both know that play games at work. None of them give two shits about E3.
None of them can really care about E3.
All they care about is the YouTube medley of new trailers that comes out the day after.
Yep.
And then trying to convince me that Red Dead Redemption 3 is going to happen next year, which isn't going to happen. Yes, seriously, had that conversation with someone this week.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently,
But
me looking at them going, I don't give a fuck, I hated Red Dead Redemption 2, wasn't the answer they were looking for.
why would someone think that Red Dead 3 was coming out?
Oh, you know what people are like.
What? The I I don't. What?
I tell you what it is, right? It's that same thing, like when people walk out of a film, and instead of sitting and enjoying the film, they'll go, right, when's the sequel? Fuck off, mate. This isn't EastEnders. Shit isn't churned out in 3 hours. It needs to be made.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed watching John Wick 2. When's John Wick 3 coming out? Next month? Next year?
Exactly.
Fuck off. If you really enjoyed John Wick 2, you're not interested in the sequel just yet.
Go watch it again. But yeah, it's that kind of conversation. I'm not saying that, that they were kind of really up in arms and, well, we're Red Dead 3. But yeah, that's the kind of conversation. These people don't give two shits that, Spider-Man was advertised 3 E3s in a row before it came out, as was, God of War and Sons of
Last of Us
Zombies.
is now on its fourth.
Which one? Oh yeah, Last of Us.
Last of Us is like its fourth E3 now.
Oh, we're not seeing Last of Us for another 2 years, guaranteed.
I still think that The Last of Us 2 is going to be the final staple game from this generation.
Yeah.
As much as people want to say that the next generation of consoles is coming out, Last of Us 2 is going to be this generation, and it's going to be this generation's last hurrah, as it were, just like the first one was.
Yeah. As long as we then get a remastered version on the PlayStation 5 or whatever it is, I'm happy with that.
Oh yeah, PS5 will end up having The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
Both coming out on the PS5, like midway through its first year.
Yeah. I would be interested to see what Sony do. I'm excited to see what Sony do.
I hope Sony announce backwards compatibility at least.
That would be nice. It would be nice. You know what? I mean, we're kind of rolling into this anyway, but I've been playing Infamous this week.
Yeah.
Or the last couple of weeks.
Well, go ahead. What you've been playing for Infamous?
So I was playing Infamous Second Son.
Yeah.
A couple of reasons. I wanted to play a game that didn't really matter if I didn't finish, because I'd already finished it. This time 5 years ago, I think. March 2014. I think that game came out. Or at least that was when I platinumed it. I checked my trophies. But actually, what I did while I was playing it, I actually went, I really fancy playing Infamous 1 and 2. But what I don't fancy doing is having a goddamn PlayStation Now account for it. I would gladly buy the games digitally if I meant I could play them again, or if they just re-release them. Don't fuck about Sony. Sony never will, because that's not the direction they're going. But my God, I would love some backwards compatibility on PS4 without the requirement of a PS Now subscription.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would kill to play Infamous again, and I've 100%ed all of them, like the 4 technically Infamous games, and I love all of them. But yeah, went back and played Second Son because why the fuck not? That game is fun, man.
It is fun. I really enjoyed it when I played it. Unfortunately, I played it not that long ago, so I kind of don't really want to play it again.
Yeah.
For this little half challenge we're working on.
Yeah. That was kind of it, to be honest. I was like, I want to play a game. Yeah, I'll play. And I think it took me, 8 to 10 hours to finish it.
Yeah.
But I just chucked it on easy and ran through the story because it was fun. I had no intention of challenging myself. I had no intention of getting really frustrated like I did in a couple of battles in that game when I was playing it on hard. I just wanted to play through and have some fun. I do hope we get a new Infamous game.
Yeah.
Once Ghost of Tsushima is done, I'd like Sucker Punch to give me a new Infamous game, please.
Yeah, be nice. I mean, I really liked Infamous 1. Did I play 2? I don't think I actually played 2 in the end. I think I got it and then never got around to playing it.
2 was the one in New Orleans.
I didn't play 2. Or the Festival of Blood expansion. I played Second Son, but I didn't play First Light. First Light?
Yep.
Yeah.
5 games then, yeah, because I platinumed First Light as well. I forgot that one.
Yeah, I've not played First Light either, so that's at some point in the future I will end up playing First Light. But
First Light, I will probably go back now. I've redone Second Son. I'll probably go back and redo First Light, mainly because actually, it's personally I think it's a superior game to Second Son.
really,
Yeah, there's no karma meter in First Light. You just play the game, which I
you play
do.
as the character that you
You
one of the
play,
characters you meet.
yeah, you play as Fetch,
Yeah,
who's the girl with the neon power,
yeah.
and you play her before Second Son happens. It is,
Okay.
she's a great character. She's my favourite character in Second Son, and she's a fantastic character to play as. And I do think Sucker Punch made the right choice by giving her her own game, even if it was quite short. And a lot of I remember doing the trophies for it, and a lot of it is challenge based, and some of them are a bit of a pain in the balls. But it was still fun. But yeah, Fetch is great fun to play as. And Neon is easily my favourite power in Second Son.
Trying to remember what was it? Smoke, neon,
Video
yeah, and earth or
and
rock
the
power.
concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I absolutely adored First Light, and I'll probably go back and do that one. But yeah, Second Son. I said the reason I wanted to play Second Son again because Lee brought this up as well. So before Christmas, is it's had an HDR patch,
Yeah.
and fuck me, does it look good?
I think I played it with the HDR patch on.
Okay,
I must have done because I didn't play it that long ago.
you played it on your Pro, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you already
So,
had your 4K TV when you had your Pro.
yep.
Yeah.
I actually think that Second Son might have been the last game I played on my PlayStation as well.
Money well spent.
Yeah, well, until Jump Force comes around, I probably won't play another game on my PlayStation.
No, fair enough.
I've still got God of War sitting there on my pile of shame of 3 games. 3 games, one of which I actually play semi-regularly on Smash Brothers. A
Yeah.
game that I probably won't ever play in Doom.
Yes, you will.
No. And then there's just God of War, which I really want to fucking play, but I never have enough time in a row that I
Yeah.
can devote to playing God of War, despite the fact this weekend I did spend a very, very long time just playing Battlefield.
Fair enough. No,
I only intended to play Battlefield for like an hour and a half.
God of War is definitely one worth sinking time into. But yeah, Infamous looks absolutely sublime. It's gorgeous. I was absolutely blown away. My only problem actually was the focus when it's like nighttime. The focus on the street lighting and the neon and shit actually meant I had to turn the brightness up on my TV and up in the game so I could see everything else. I was trying to run around in the dark and had no fucking idea where I was going and literally couldn't see shit on my screen. I had to up the brightness to fix it.
Yeah, I definitely played in HDR because that was exactly how I felt with the neon stuff.
But it's absolutely gorgeous. And it just makes me want to go back and play other games. I did the same for Horizon because I replayed that after I got my 4K TV. And that was gorgeous in 4K.
Actually, I think that's one of the cool things about Infamous Second Son that I've only kind of half just noticed enough to really mention it is that until you unlock the powers of neon and of video, you don't really notice the big neon signs around
No.
at all. And then the same with the video walls. You don't really notice any of the video walls or the bus stops that have TV screens in them or anything else you can pull the video power of until you unlock video.
Yeah.
So I think it actually works quite well. It's like they've got them dimmed in the background
Yeah.
as you run around with your smoke power until you discover the fact that you can actually pick those powers up. And it's like, oh, hang on a second, they're actually quite prominent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's done very well. Done very, very well.
Although smoke power is completely fucking stupid.
I love it. It's so crap. It's utter crap, but I love it. But no, I enjoyed going back to Second Son. It was a breath of fresh air as well, to be honest with you. Kind of sitting there just dicking around on a game that I'd already finished.
Yeah.
that wasn't chasing trophies, wasn't, didn't care about doing it on difficulty, just stick it on easy and breeze through the story, bit of fun. That's all I wanted. And actually, it was quite a nice palate cleanser after Resident Evil 2 as well.
Yeah. Well, I think Second Son's probably one of my more prouder platinums,
Yeah,
especially when I think I did it in the space of like 48 hours.
yeah. That's not a bad run. It took me a couple of weeks, I think, but it took me a couple of weeks of not playing very often.
Yeah, I think I started on the Friday, and then I think I tweeted out on the Sunday saying that, hang on a sec, I've got like one trophy left.
Yeah,
Can I go? I think I finished this main story on the normal difficulty, and then blasted through on the harder difficulty,
yeah,
like straight away. And I was like, only after doing that, I think I only had two more trophies left that I didn't pick up just organically. I think one of which was getting a kill on an enemy using three separate powers,
yeah.
which is surprisingly difficult when you get towards the end game and there's like no enemies left.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember having a similar thing on Infamous 1. So Infamous 1, one of the trophies was to... Because you had different combos and different moves you could do
Yeah.
with your powers. So one of the trophies was to do all of them. And the problem was I didn't realise that until near the end of the game, after I'd cleared all the areas out. And I was like, oh shit. And literally there's like one area where you could run away from and go back to and enemies would spawn. So you spend 3 hours grinding out of an area just to turn around and grind back in to this little train station area where three enemies would appear, hoping you'd have enough, juice and skill to clear off this skill list one at a time. It was a fucking pain in the ass.
And there was what was there's a you need to do a dive bomb off of like the tallest part of the fucking game,
Yeah.
and you only get access to the tallest part of the game right at the fucking end.
Yep. Trophies. This is why I don't achievement hunt anymore, mate.
Because there's always like really fucking stupid things like that where you have to climb to the tallest part of the game, but then you also need to jump higher than that.
Yeah.
But in order to get the maximum, the height that you need to fall to do it, you need to jump at the exact right angles at the right time, and then get your landing to land at the exact right position. Because if you miss that position, you'll hit the floor slightly higher up than you need to.
Yep.
Oh, that's really fucking annoying. I think I did it first attempt though, but that was pure luck, and I very, very nearly hit
Yeah.
the overpass, as it were.
So yeah, that's my Infamous, mate. What have you been playing?
So going with that was one of my prouder platinums. I will briefly mention that I managed to complete all of the achievements for Battlefield 5.
Nice.
So most of them are really easy to pick up organically just playing the multiplayer.
Okay.
And then there's the ones for completing the campaign, well, 4 of the 5 campaigns, because there's 5 available, but there's one that you don't get achievements for.
Is that because it technically wasn't part of the base game?
I think it might have been not part of the base game. It's either that or that it was. I think it's you're playing as the Germans.
Okay.
In World War II, as opposed, because I think it's called The Last Tiger. I haven't played it because it doesn't have a trophy attached to it, so I just didn't.
Okay, fair enough.
Couldn't really be bothered, to be fair. But the story is actually not as good as Battlefield 1's war stories, but they're still really fucking good.
Yeah.
And they don't romanticize war in any kind of way whatsoever. In fact, when you play, I think, I can't remember what the fucking one was called now. Oh, no, actually, there's only 4 war stories.
Yep.
Play as the British SBS. Play as a Norwegian spy commando, and then you play as what were they? The like Moroccan, French, African soldiers.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So I've done. What have I done? See, I did the SBS one.
Yep.
which I loved because it was Craig
Yeah.
Fairbrass.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the fucking SBS one's actually really fucking good. I really enjoyed playing as the
I
in SBS stuff.
I adore Craig Fairbrass as an actor, as a voice actor. It's Ghost. I fucking love him. Uh, and when he yells that you've called in every cunt with an iron cross, I was like, yes. Uh, the Norwegian one actually I quite liked. The
The
problem,
skiing mechanic they added to it is actually really fucking cool.
oh yeah, it's really fun. The problem I had with both of them actually, and I got bored and frustrated, was both of those war stories ended like 3 times. I got to what I thought was the end, and what in any other game would have been the end of the mission, and then nope, keep going, do another bit. So, oh, for fuck's sake, really? Just fuck
As a whole,
off.
I think it's mostly because the ending of them is that they're each war story is 3 chapters, as it were,
Yeah,
and the 3 chapters do really sit on a oh fuck we've completed this section, it's done. Then it
yeah,
turns out, oh hang on a sec, you now can go do this bit. Great, fantastic, and then you finish that bit, and then you get you've called in every cunt with an iron cross.
yeah. And I think
Which
they're good. Each chapter is good, but by the time I got to the third part, like the end of the first one, when it's just the endless fucking waves, was just brutal.
Trying to do that on the hardest difficulty though, mate.
No, I'm good.
Actually, you know what? Doing it on the hardest difficulty wasn't actually that tough because I'm several hours worth of gameplay in multiplayer.
Yeah,
I'd already finished it on an on normal difficulty, and I'd finished the other 2 war stories on the hardest difficulty.
yeah,
So going into doing that first one again, doing that endless waves of enemies, was surprisingly easy because I knew approximately what I needed to do, where I needed to go stand to do stuff. So when it came to the first wave of planes, I was already in the AA gun. When it was the tanks that were coming around, I'd already set up traps.
yeah.
And then when there was like groups of enemies, I was able to rely mostly on the fact that I'd managed to pick up a couple of really OP weapons and I was getting some decent headshot kills.
Nice.
Again, because I played so many hours of the multiplayer, I knew roughly what it was I needed to do for all of the things that I was doing. I knew where the damage was best, where to stand, and it worked out really easily when I was to finish it on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
You know what the hardest achievement I got, or the last one it was?
Go on then.
It was the Death from Above. You have to destroy 5 stationary weapon emplacements that are manned with an aeroplane.
Yeah.
Up until this weekend, I'd managed 1
Nice.
total. I managed to get 4 in one game.
Awesome.
So I was flying around, but it wasn't until very recently that I really learned which planes to use, just in general.
Yeah.
Because there's 5 planes for both the Allies and the Axis powers.
Yeah.
But both of them have actual bomber planes.
Okay.
So flying around with the Blenheim bomber plane for the Allies, I've managed to unlock. So it has as basic 4 bombs, and I unlocked dropping, I think 8, like smaller bombs,
Yep.
and then I also unlocked the ability to drop 4 250-pound bombs, just like
Nice.
extras. So it's like regular bombs, a carpet of light bombs, and then heavy bombs. And then the German plane that I've got, the Ju-88, has 4 bombs, and then it has 16 50-pound bombs, and then 2 500-pound bombs.
Bloody hell.
But the other option is if you go down the other specializations, you can unlock 1 1-ton bomb.
Okay.
But it wasn't until very recently that I discovered really how to fly.
Yeah.
Because I was always, when I was flying around, I got a pretty decent number of kills, dropping bombs on people, getting kills on people on gun emplacements, but I wasn't destroying the gun emplacement, I was just damaging it. Same with tanks, wasn't destroying them, just damaging them. and getting shot out of the sky by when, as soon as someone else decided they want to fly around in one of the fighter planes, they were shooting me down pretty easily because I just couldn't get away from them. Didn't matter
Yeah.
what I tried. Until I recently discovered that no one knows how to handle when you fly slowly. Because everyone just flies at full speed all the time in the fighter planes. So when you're
Yeah.
in the bomber plane, you're flying at full speed yourself. They're flying at full speed. They're quicker than you at full speed, and they just shoot you as they slowly catch up with you, shoot you down, and then whenever you bank, they can bank better, and they
Yeah.
just shoot you down constantly.
Yeah.
If you fly as slow as possible in the bomber plane, they will just fly straight past you and have no idea how to stop. It's like they're
Fair
catching
enough.
up to you really quickly, and then all of a sudden you have bullets hitting you or missing if they're not very good. You can keep yourself up in the air quite easily, and then they just like all you hear is the engine noise of the plane fly past you, or in many cases fly straight into either you or the floor you're flying near.
Fair enough.
Number of times I've had people fly into the fucking floor just because they were trying to shoot me out of the sky.
Awesome.
Actually, I think I actually got someone send me a message because they flew into my plane. Like proper salty message because I apparently was not flying properly.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the reason I don't like multiplayer anymore.
Uh,
Fucking idiots.
Number of times I get messages on Battlefield because I've done something that people just don't appreciate.
Yeah.
I was playing on I think Rotterdam, and I climbed up into one of the buildings that they had like 4 or 5 people just sitting in, sniping out of the building. And I just walked in there and pulled the Piat rocket launcher out and just blew the side of the fucking building up with them in it. Got all of them, and I got a message from them calling me a Piat pansy or something. And then just went into a massive list and tirade of just abuse. I was just like, report. So yeah, Battlefield. Finished that one off.
Nice.
And now that the thing is now that I've got the 100% on it, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about continuing playing it.
I see. This is the problem I think with trophies and achievements and things in general. I don't. I've spoken a lot about how I've kind of given up chasing them, and I don't know, mate. I don't like them at all. I like the idea that they can bring some replay value to a game, but the game has replay value anyway. Not necessarily Battlefield, but a game has replay value anyway. You just need to find it.
Yeah.
I, and I understand people like achievements. I used to do it. I did it for years, and I used to play games I hated for hours on end just for another platinum, or you know. But the worst thing was I'd skip out on games that I love because I'd already got the platinum. Like the Battlefield games, like Battlefield like 3 and 4, platinum them. A couple of them were quite tough to platinum.
Oh yeah, platinuming Battlefield 3 was fucking hard.
But the thing was, I played it because I enjoyed it, and I just happened to get the trophies while I was going anyway. So once I'd got my 100%, I was like, okay, it's time to move on. But it shouldn't be like that. It should be,
No.
I'm enjoying playing my game. Let's fucking crack on.
Yeah.
And I talk about the game a lot. Killzone 2 and Killzone Shadowfall, long after I'd got my platinum, I was still playing those, and I still boot up Killzone Shadowfall now to play it occasionally. Okay, online's a bit sparse. There's not really anybody playing online except Saturday mornings when I'm at work. But the same rules apply. I've got my platinum, but because I don't care about trophies anymore, I'm trying to play games I enjoy, like going back and playing Infamous Second Son for what would be at least the third time because I needed 2 playthroughs for my trophies. Yeah, if a game needs trophies to make me want to play it, I don't really want to play your game. And I had a weird thing with achievements, not trophies. When I was playing Hitman the other day, I done the Legacy elusive target on Friday. So it's a repeated elusive target from Hitman 1 on a Hitman 1 map that I'd never done before, because remembering when Hitman 1 was out, I tried like 3 elusive targets and then moved on to other games. even though I was enjoying it, which is pretty much the point I'm trying to make. But I had to I set up a thing. It was in. Well, you've not finished Hitman 1 yet, have you?
No.
So the final mission in Hitman 1, you're in a hospital and you can't take weapons with you. So, because I've finished the mission a couple of times, I've unlocked places I can have agency pickups. So I left a gun on a mountain range, and I changed where I started the game, and as soon as the mission booted up, I got an achievement. I was like, oh, okay. Had a look, and it's because I'd started the Hokkaido mission having changed where I start and set up an agency drop-off. I was like, oh, there's a trophy for every map for doing that, and I just haven't noticed because I haven't done it. And then I went, oh, I wonder what other achievements there are, and I started going through, and I was like, I could do that. And suddenly I found myself going, I'm going to be playing this motherfucker on professional and try and suit only everything. I was like, no, I'm not. Because I'll never fucking leave my house if I start trying to do that shit. I need to get away from these achievements lightning fast. Just leave them be. I'm playing the game over and over again anyway. What the fuck do I need the achievements for? But anyway, yeah, my point was achievements bug me now. It's not, apart from the fact they fucking break your immersion when you're playing shit scary Resident Evil 2, and all of a sudden this rare achievement pops up and makes a horrendous fucking noise. But yeah, I think if achievements are put into your game just to make people buy the games and just to make people keep playing them, then I don't think achievements should be there.
Yeah.
And I wasted far too many hours of my life playing games I really shouldn't have been playing just for a platinum.
Yeah, you're right. Achievements are a fun distraction from some games, because some games, they can be artificially lengthened by putting in really fucking weird achievements. If you put in almost the entire way through the game just easily organically gathered achievements, so finish the story and finish sections of story, do a certain kill in a certain way, or in some cases just when playing the multiplayer, getting, I don't know, 5 kills of stationary weapons using an aeroplane, in my case. If it's the only one left, people might actually look at it and go, you know what, I'm going to try and fucking get that one while I'm playing anyway.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed playing Battlefield 5, and the fact that I went out of my way to get that last achievement really showed that I actually care about the game. The fact that, I mean, I got through all of the other fucking 21 achievements. There's only 21 to get, after all. I played the war stories. I probably wouldn't have played through on the hardest difficulty if not for the achievement for playing through and finishing on the hardest difficulty.
That's a really low number of achievements.
Yeah.
Is this still 1000G?
Yeah. It's 1000G, 21 achievements.
Fucking hell.
But it's Battlefield. It's a multiplayer game. You don't need to throw thousands of achievements. You don't need to put that many achievements into a game that is multiplayer only, because when you really look into multiplayer achievements, how many people are going to get all of multiplayer achievements unless you make them unnecessarily easy? At which point multiplayer achievements then lose a bit of their shine. So if you make it so that get to level 5 on each of the 4 classes, anyone can get to level 5 on a class.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of the amount of time you decide to spend on it. You could be the worst Battlefield player ever. All you need to do is finish one game of Grand Operations and you're pretty much guaranteed level 2 on whichever class it is that you use from start to finish.
Fair enough.
If you are terrible at killing anybody, you could finish 1 to 52 or something, as long as you gather a couple of objectives as you go around and just do capping. Or if you're playing as a medic, a couple of revives, throwing ammo for someone as a support kit, spotting people using the recon kit, or just being the assault guy.
Fair enough.
It's not particularly difficult. You can just fire explosives at vehicles and damage them. Points are easy to get hold of. It's not just about being really good, it's all stuff that is pretty easy to get, which is why I think one of the multiplayer achievements is actually something like get 100,000 score total with each of the 4 classes.
Okay.
100,000 overall score with each class is approximately level 11.
Yeah.
There's only 20 levels per class. I've not managed to get to level 20 with all of the classes yet. Assault I've done. Assault I did really fucking quickly.
Yeah.
Assault's actually the one I've probably played the most time with. Assault's probably the one that I've got the highest score with, most kills, everything. It's the one I've got the most level 10 guns. It's the one I've completed most of the mastery challenges to get the gold colouring on all of my guns. But
Yeah.
I've barely touched medic because I don't enjoy using SMGs, and that's all the medic kit has is just SMGs.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In World War II SMGs, you've got a Sten, an MP40, and the variants of those 2 guns.
No, I'm good. I'll come back when they do a modern shooter. Thank you very much.
Recon, you've got bolt action and semi-auto sniper rifles.
Yeah.
With the support kit, you've got shotguns, LMGs, and MMGs. And my god of people with MMGs were the bane of my existence on that game. You can't use an MMG running around because you can't ADS when you're running around. You have to be in the bipod to ADS.
Yeah.
But that means that you just end up with people just lying down just somewhere where they know they're going to get a fucking load of kills as they just lie there with their 250 round magazines, belt fed, 760 RPM machine gun, just sitting there and just mowing down anything that comes near them.
Yeah, that's been the way since Battlefield 3, though, isn't it? I remember playing Battlefield 3 because I used to play support on Battlefield 3 with an M240.
Yep.
And, you know, to be fair, I did actually play as support, so I would be supporting the people running up front.
Yeah.
Not just laying down a fucking corridor and shooting anything that moved.
Oh yeah, 500 ticket Metro. Just
Yeah.
lie down on one of the fucking corridors waiting for everyone to come flying at you and just mow them down with the saw.
Exactly. But
But
this
with
is it.
at least the LMGs and the M240 and all of that, despite their high fire rate and their decent damage, you can run around with an LMG.
You
An
can.
LMG, you
can't
can run
fucking-
around and
You can't hit shit with it, but you can.
no, you can't hit shit with it, but you can put in enough specialized. So one of the guns that's a bit of annoying for me occasionally is the KE7, which is an LMG on the support kit. It's got a
Yeah.
really high fire rate, pretty decent control, but it's got a 25 round magazine.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, but it's an LMG.
Yeah.
It's a light machine gun. It's nothing big, nothing special, but it's got a decent fire rate, which means it beats a lot of other guns that you play with. Because of high fire rate, it's a bit difficult to control. It's the people who use the regular machine guns lying down in their corridor with their bipod out and just or on a completely open map, and they can get kills. I mean, I've used one of the MMGs because at the moment one of the Tides of War challenges has been to use MMGs to get 15 kills or something, I think, with. So I used one of the MMGs. I was lying down, and they're actually, if you use them in a decent burst, probably more accurate than a lot of sniper rifles from World War II.
Fair
And
enough.
because it's a fucking machine gun, you can fire it in bursts pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah.
And when you're burst firing that fucking thing, you're going to get a pretty decent number of kills that most snipers using their bolt action would fucking dream of. In typical Battlefield fashion, you can't kill someone with a single shot of a sniper rifle,
No.
regardless of which sniper rifle you use. It's always 2 shots. It's just whether or not you're quick enough to get that second shot away.
Yeah.
So
No,
the
you
semi-auto
gotta be
sniper rifles.
stealing other people's kills, really, aren't you?
Well, unless you've the single shot bolt action sniper rifles are a 1-hit kill for a headshot.
Yeah.
The semi-auto ones are not, but the semi-auto ones have a decent fire rate that you can get pretty easy kills.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger, and then once the target's back on them, you can get them a second time pretty quickly before they even know what's going on.
Like the old, the SVD.
Yes, the SVD.
Yeah.
I miss the SVD.
I miss proper Battlefield games.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love the next Battlefield to come out and be, well, modern day Battlefield. Bring back Karkand.
Yeah.
Sharky Peninsula.
I will give
Also
Battlefield
fun.
5 props though. That Norwegian mission when it brought back the freezing to death mechanic, I thought
Yeah.
that was very fucking cool. Bit easy, not really as much of a threat as it makes out it is,
No.
but was a very
Well,
cool mechanic nonetheless.
to be fair, when you're playing through on hardcore, it's a lot more interesting to try and run around because the freezing mechanic itself is really fucking easy to get through. You're freezing. You need to run between fires. On hardcore, you kind of don't really pay much attention to the enemies that you see.
No.
You try and sneak through everything stealthily because it's trying to stealth you through the whole game as it is,
Yeah.
more or less. So trying to stealth through, but also trying to rapidly get yourself between the fires because you don't know how long you have to last on the freezing mechanic. Yeah, that mission was actually quite tough for me.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was a really good mission. I should go back. You know what? I'll probably go back and finish it when it goes on to EA Access.
Yeah.
I'll probably go back and finish it, and maybe do a bit of multiplayer. But I'm not that fussed about the multiplayer.
Nah. The multiplayer is really good if you're interested in spending a lot of time. One of the game modes, Frontlines,
Yeah.
is unnecessarily long for no reason because of one stupid mechanic. The Frontlines is a bit like an odd domination. You fight over a point,
Yeah.
and then if you win that point, you move towards your opponent's bases. So it's like
Okay.
and then if you win the next point, you move closer to their bases. If they win a point, you get pushed back one.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's kind of like you're fighting over choke points. You're just pushing each other one way or the other.
Yeah. It sounds like Rush that you can reverse.
Yeah. So it is like Rush that you can reverse. But it's like a conquest flag based thing. So you run in. If you've got you win the flag, you move to the next one, and each one you go through, you're less likely to win the next one because your enemies the next one shows up where your enemies are currently spawning.
Yeah.
So they'll spawn at that spot where you are now trying to take that. And I've had a couple of games where it's really fucking difficult to push your opponents back because you've managed to hold them off of this one, but you don't have enough time to get yourself into the next area before it unlocks.
Yeah.
Because there's a window waiting for it to unlock, to try and get it so that you've killed enough of your opponents that they've been pushed back to the next spawn point.
Okay. Yeah.
Because while that area is unlocking, you move to the next one along, so you're closer to it there, and they're not spawning directly on the one that's going to unlock. It's all well and good if the overall timer for the game only counts down when an area is on the unlocked state.
Yeah.
So the 30 seconds to a minute that you after completing one of the objectives, you have the time stopped completely, just on pause.
Okay.
So it turns a 45-minute match into a much, much longer one just because you have to wait every time someone collects a base, which when you're playing on one of the really fucking long maps where you have A through G as points to collect and you start at the middle one, if you end up in a straight fight where it's you take base, say B, and then as soon as you take B, so then it sees the next one, then they capture C immediately, and then you capture B immediately, and then C immediately, and then back and forth on that one because you're currently stuck in a fight that just isn't going anywhere one way or the other. Front lines, like, you literally have a no man's land in the middle. The game lasts fucking forever because it's taking longer to unlock the next zone than it is to take the fucking zone when the time's actually counting.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That was infuriating. I got a lot of XP and I got a lot of stuff completed for that one because that match took so fucking long. That match took so long that my friend who left to go have his dinner
Yeah.
managed to go off, have his dinner, and come back, and there was still 20 minutes left on the game.
Excellent.
In the end,
Yeah.
I think I actually downed my controller for a little bit because I just let the other team just keep coming at my team, and I just was not helping at all. I was killing I think I was counter sniping at one point just because I got bored of stopping them from taking the objective and doing actually helping my team. So I just started shooting their players that were nowhere near the objectives
Yeah.
to try and get them to do something. So yeah, that was my Battlefield experience for the weekend.
Fair enough.
Um,
And there was you saying you didn't have any fun at the weekend.
yeah, I don't think I said I didn't have any fun. I think I didn't play much.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Um, so you want to go on to what we played together?
Yeah? You
Considering we probably had very different experiences of the same game.
I think we have very different experiences. I think we both also came out with the same overall feelings on the game though.
Yeah.
You go ahead, mate.
Okay, so I I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy the Division 1 all that much when it came. I played it a fair amount. And then after spending a bit of time playing it, I think I got as far as one of the DLCs before just turning it off for good because there was one very, very, very broken mechanic, and that was DPS, in that it didn't matter what you were using as long as you had the vector of the yellow rarity at the time. All you needed was that, and you were guaranteed to. Well, it was the only gun you ever needed
Okay.
because it had the fastest fire rate, the highest damage, so there, and a pretty decent sized magazine if you put the extended mag to it. That it had such a high DPS that it was just unstoppable.
Yeah.
Roll forward to the Division 2 beta. I found a vector on the floor, and I used it for about 10 minutes while playing the beta. I came across one of the epic enemies. I walked up next to him while you guys were, I don't know, reloading or something, pulled the vector on him at close range, emptied a magazine into him, and he died.
Nice.
He was supposed to be an epic enemy. I killed him in one magazine just because I was right next to him.
Yeah. Fair enough. I see the thing
Yeah.
for me. I played the Division and just didn't get on with it. Just not at all. It just felt soulless and lifeless, and just I was bored. And I think we've spoken about this before, and I think, and it was kind of proven. I think over the weekend, the Division is one of those games that, again, what makes the Division worth playing is if you're playing with people you can shoot the shit with while you're playing it.
Yep.
I have no interest in just wandering across town, emptying out a building to pick up a MacGuffin, just to walk back and then do it again in 10 minutes' time. That doesn't interest me at all, and I didn't like the Division. I played it for about an hour, I think. It's just not my thing. I only put the Division 2 on because it was going to be a bit of a laugh to play with you and Lee. I enjoyed playing with you and Lee. That's about it.
Yeah.
Some of it was fun. I will get, the when there's three you're playing, and when your connection was stable.
For all of about 5 minutes. I have no idea what was wrong with my internet that day. Fine for everything else I played. I think it might have just been my issue connecting to Ubisoft.
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me. Ubisoft servers, I mean, we saw this. I struggled to get a 140 meg patch downloaded Friday night because the servers were struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's beta. You can't really expect anything different. But I would have liked to have, had a consistent experience. But my actual playing experience was pretty consistent. I figured out what gun worked, and I just kind of wandered through and killed people with it. Same as it could have been the Division, it could have been Battlefield, it could have been Destiny, it could have been absolutely anything. I just generic dude or chick, as mine was, kills other generic people and picks up generic stuff and goes back to a generic area and does other generic things. Very generic.
Yeah. It's a generic third-person shooter set in a generic world, but on the plus side, it's in a location that's not really been used in video gaming
No,
before.
and that's
But okay, it's been used, but almost entirely in modern day World War games.
yeah, and it is, it's an interesting area, it's an interesting setting, but actually, what Ubisoft are the kings of when they're not making Far Cry games is making really cool opening sequences. These kind of over digitized storytelling mechanics where the screen fills up with facts and figures and like dot matrix style pictures of people, and Watch Dogs did the same thing, and all the advertising for CTOS for Watch Dogs did the exact same thing, and it's
Yeah,
amazing, and it's really cool and really gets you in, and then you go and play the game and it's not that. I thought, well, this is not fun. I did enjoy playing it, and I have to admit, I did have one moment where just everything it doesn't happen very often. When you get that, just you could do it when you play Battlefield as well, or any multiplayer game. Just have a moment where everything just goes really well, and it's just super cool. Unfortunately, when we were playing in Division, it was right at the end, and we'd all decided that we're just going to finish this bit off, and then we're all going to go do stuff, log off and play husband or go to bed or do something. And I think you disconnected, and Lee got himself downed, and I ran over to where he was, and I stood above him, cleared out 4 or 5 people who wouldn't stop shooting at me, and and it was just one of those moments that everything just worked really well, and I perfectly took down 4 people, and then revived Lee, and then we ran off, and it was just such a moment of I'm kind of a badass. It was really cool, but apart from that, it was very, very generic.
yeah, and I, this one has an advantage to the first one in that it's set in Washington as opposed to in New York, one of the most overused locations in video gaming history.
Yeah,
And I think that one of the biggest issues that the Division One had is that it was a very bland New York. It was snowed in, it was lifeless, but it's supposed to be like that.
yeah.
I'll allow it
But
because it's
it was
that.
essentially it was post-apocalyptic without quite being post-apocalyptic, wasn't it?
Yeah. And this one is post-apocalyptic Washington, where it's set up in okay, so the world's kind of fallen apart due to that virus outbreak on Black Friday
Yeah,
that it was in the first one. So it's X number of years later on where civilization's kind of working its way back around again. The White House is still not necessarily in very good order, but they're using it as a base of operations for Washington, for your nameless, faceless, voiceless division agent.
yeah,
I'll emphasize voiceless for Lee because he's very, very angry at things where you play as a character with no voice.
yeah.
Voiceless.
I don't blame him.
It
The,
is
the,
really fucking infuriating that we're this far into video gaming and you still have playable characters with no fucking voice.
yeah,
It's not hard to get a voice actor. You only need to hire them for doing X number of fucking lines. It's not like the Division has choice of what it is that you say. You have a script. You have a set story. You don't need to go at one point and say, I'm going to make this option instead of this option. Destiny 1 has the ability to talk, depending on you picking a gender or the one of 3 races. Destiny 2 has no voice until much later on
yeah.
when you get the first round of DLC for Destiny 2. No. Yeah, year 2 Destiny 2 DLC, the player character has approximately 1 line.
Fucking hell. No, just no.
We're in 2019.
Yep.
We should not be having games with voiceless player characters. It's not Doom Guy anymore.
No.
It's not text over the video you're watching of subtitles because no one talks. It's everyone else has a voice, people come to you, ask you for your help on something, and you don't respond. It's okay for GTA. We've had voiceless player characters in GTA for fucking forever, up
Yeah.
until the more recent ones where you actually start talking back because they decided to give the player character a voice. So when the online came around and you're voiceless, that's fine. Red Dead, okay, maybe a different kettle of fish, but at the same time, it's still a Rockstar game. Your player gets away with just grunting at his horse when he wants it to go faster or to calm down. I'm okay with that. Playing The Division, playing Destiny. Anthem, the freelancer main character has a voice, talks. You have options when you're talking to people to choose option A, option B. I don't know if there's an option C in cases. It's either pulling the left or right demo beta. You talk to the other people. Why is this a thing in other games? I don't actually care that much. I thought I'd rant for Lee.
I love it. I love that you've gotten really angry about it, and yet you don't really care.
No. And I don't really care about The Division. My issue with The Division 2 is that I had such a bad experience playing it due to my connection to Ubisoft. I'm guessing because I got binned off how many times, but it wasn't
Yeah,
just
4 or 5.
it wasn't just when I got binned out. It was that there were so many times when I was walking along and I was hitting invisible walls because the game wouldn't load the next area. I don't even know if the game plays in fucking areas or instances, as it were. But I was hitting them, invisible walls, getting a little loading screen, little loading icon in the bottom to say that I was loading the next bit. But I wasn't like I was stuck waiting for it to load. I could go and fuck off and go back in the other direction. I could, I could, I hit one of these walls underground in an area walking towards the White House after
Yeah.
we'd cleared one of the zones. When you'd gone into the underground area, there was like 4 or 5 chests to open up. I'd
Yeah.
gone in, I'd picked stuff up out of those chests, hit an invisible wall, turned around, walked back out, walked around to a different section, and I hit the invisible wall at the exact same sort of line, like I was hitting it, but I was a good 300 yards down the road. Like it couldn't load in that next section. Plus, there was the number of times when we were inside said area that we mentioned before, of where we killed all those enemies, where I was getting rooms where I couldn't see enemies. I could see health bars showing up, and the radar in the corner was showing me there were red dots. There were enemies that were around in varying distances, and depending on how close they were, the varying colors of the red.
Yeah.
I couldn't see them on the screen, and they weren't shooting me, so I didn't know where the fuck they were. I wasn't taking damage up until the point where one of them decided to hit me from behind with a crowbar, but I couldn't see them.
Nice.
It wasn't until Lee pointed out that I was hit from behind by the crowbar when he went and killed them and then revived me. Or was it
Yeah.
you?
Don't know. I think I might
I
have
think
revived you and
you
Lee killed
revived
the
me,
guy.
but Lee killed the guy that put me down because
Yeah.
I couldn't see them. I didn't know they were there. I had no way of knowing because I couldn't see them, and that experience really took away any want that I had for playing this game
Yeah.
in any way when it comes out. I don't want to buy it. I don't want to rent it. I just don't want to play it from this experience. And I think that the only positive was that I got to play with you and Lee, which is always fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually get to play with you and Lee.
No.
I could have been playing any other fucking game and still had the same experience. I probably would have had a better experience talking to you two, playing FIFA,
While we were playing
while
Division.
you were playing The Division, because at least playing FIFA, I would have actually been in control of what it was that I was doing.
Yeah. That is a shame. Although I have to admit, like you said, apart from playing with you guys, I had no interest in what I was actually doing, and I won't be picking up the Division 2.
Yeah.
Just I won't. I can't see the point. It's not for me. I'm not a live services kind of player. I haven't got the time or interest to load into a game that requires me to be online all of the fucking time, every day. Just, it's not my thing.
Yeah. So, I'll admit that even with the Division 2 and my poor experience with it, and the counter of it is the week before I played Anthem and I really fucking enjoyed it, and I'm actually kind of hyped up for Anthem, and I'm actually quite excited to playing Anthem. And I read the Polygon news story
Okay.
about BioWare and the last couple of years of BioWare's existence. So when from inception of Anthem's existence, when it was codenamed Dylan, named after
Yeah.
Bob, Casey Hudson leaving and joining Microsoft Studios, I think it was,
Yeah.
before going back to BioWare after Andromeda's release and the Dragon Age Inquisition's release, and the cancellation of the Baldur's Gate-ish game
Yeah.
that I think was planned. Yeah, I think it was a Baldur's Gate game.
Yeah. I'd give money to another Baldur's Gate game.
Yeah, I think that was cancelled mid-development because of EA's pushing of the Frostbite engine really fucked with everyone
Yeah.
at BioWare. The Frostbite engine fucked with BioWare so much that it almost killed three franchises in a row.
Yeah.
Actually, technically, it did kill three franchises.
Yeah.
Andromeda was not good.
No.
Inquisition was not good,
But then,
and killing off the Baldur's Gate game.
to be fair,
Really
Dragon Age 4 is coming.
true.
So it hasn't quite killed Dragon Age off yet.
No, and there is rumors, well, further rumors of more Mass Effect. Maybe not Andromeda stuff, but
Yeah, that I don't think that will happen.
yeah. But at least the guys, the actual guys that worked on the Dragon Age 2 and the Mass Effect trilogy and all of the original stuff are the guys making Anthem, as opposed to the satellite studio that did Andromeda.
Yeah.
So Anthem looks like a really interesting project for me especially after reading that article about the plans for Andromeda going forwards, about how it's supposed to be like an immersive story, but it's not one of the typical, when you're playing with friends, you either need to fast forward your game to them or rewind back to do missions back with other friends. It's kind of an all organic. There is an overall story, but there's so much around. It's not like you need to smash through the story in 15 hours because it's a race against time situation like with the Mass Effect stuff.
Yeah.
It's the narrative to it is that it's just lore everywhere.
Fair
And I
enough.
do like lore.
Yeah.
So does Lee. Lee loves lore. He loves reading codex entries. His biggest gripe with Destiny 1 was the fact that codex entries were always online.
Yeah.
You would go around, you would find these fucking codex entries, but you couldn't read them in the game. You had to go online
Oh,
after.
I remember getting the little prompt saying go to
But yeah,
Destiny.com or Bungie.com, whatever it was. And you're like, fuck you.
but you had to find them first because you had to log into the Bungie website, and then it would go, "You found these ones, yay! What's the rest of them?"
Yeah.
I found codex entry 1, 7, and 9
Yeah.
at this bit. What happened to the rest of them? Where are they? Why can't I read them?
Yeah.
And you just go and find them online because someone had just copied and pasted all of them and shoved them on a Wikipedia page somewhere. So if you were really that interested, again, with a BioWare game, there's going to be a lot of fucking lore.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of stuff to read. It's going to take longer to read all of that than it will be to play the game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've polished Mass Effect down to about 90 hours total, all three games or something. There's probably more than 90 hours worth of reading material.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for Anthem.
Okay. I will not be buying Anthem.
No, you won't, because you're not a BioWare fan,
No, I'm not
Really?
particularly. And
not
again,
an RPG fan, and you're not a multiplayer co-op game fan.
no,
Well,
no.
not an open world, massive online co-op game. You'll play a small co-op game that's designed like that, where it's an 8-hour story of A Way Out.
Yeah. Yeah, sort of a way out is perfect. Or even things like Far Cry.
Jump
Where-
in, jump out
yeah.
co-op, where it doesn't matter if where I am in the story, it doesn't affect my game whatsoever to play it.
Exactly.
And I like Far Cry mod co-op.
That's more my speed of game for playing with other people.
It doesn't benefit you, and it doesn't harm you in any way for me jumping into your game.
No.
Well, it does benefit you if there's like certain um, strongholds to,
Yeah,
to go get into to steal and kill all the enemies when they send helicopters after you, and you have no way of defending yourself from those because you chose the bear and the cougar.
yeah, exactly. I do need you to get on and play fucking Hitman 2 though, so I can play Ghost mode with you.
Yeah, I know. And at some point, I'll end up playing Hitman 2. I've got it, but it's my digital pile of shame is much worse than my physical pile of shame.
Yeah,
My
although
digital pile of shame is like 200 games.
interestingly, I do wish I'd bought Hitman 2 digitally so I could leave it on all the time.
Yeah,
Because obviously, because it's disc, if I rent something, I have to switch it out. Or if I
yeah.
buy something on disc, I have to switch it out. Doesn't stop me from going back to Hitman though. Not at all.
At some point in the future, it will be free on something, and
Yeah.
therefore you have Hitman 2 because you've got it on disc. You can just have Hitman 2 and just play it digitally because they'll unlock the license for it.
You know what? The thing I really want, and I'm waiting for it to happen, is I want a cheap version of that HD enhanced version of Hitman to come out because they've just released, haven't they, the HD enhanced two
Yeah,
packs. There's Blood Money and Absolution. I got
yeah,
really excited last week. It was £26, so it's 50 quid for those two games. As much as I enjoyed Absolution, I'm not paying 50 quid for Absolution again. I'm
yeah.
just not.
No, it's not
Uh,
worth. It's not worth that much money to play it.
because the same rules apply as we had with achievements earlier. I platinumed Absolution and nearly fucking killed myself doing it as well. Some of those challenges were bastard hard. So this time, literally, I just want to play it and I'm going to stick it on professional and I'm just going to just breeze through, do the story, do some of the challenges, and keep going back, same as I do with Hitman 2. Just keep going back and keep playing over and over again. What I don't want to do is pay 50 quid for that experience. So
No.
last week it went down to £26 on the PlayStation Store. I was like, shit, yeah, son. We'll have that on the Xbox soon enough. Saw the deals this morning, no Hitman. I was like, fuckers. So now I'm waiting because I really want to fucking play Hitman Absolution again.
Fuck. What was the? There was a game that I saw on the deals this morning, and it was like the super gold edition of something. It was like £3.
Nice, I
It
might
was
have to go
like
double check.
I can't remember what the fuck it was now, but it was a game that had like it was like the uber awesome ultra edition of it, but it was like only £3 or $3 rather, and I can't remember what the fuck it was. I actually was like, oh yeah, I might buy that, and then just decided against it because it was about 7:30. I should have been leaving for work.
Yeah.
It was, Major Nelson tweeted it, and I'm trying to.
I'm sure I'll find it at some point, eventually.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah. Shouldn't really be going buying new games. I need to
No,
finish some of the games I already own first. Probably be
uh,
helpful.
it probably wouldn't interest you in any way anyway, because I think it might have been like an EA Sports title.
No, fair enough.
It might have been NBA actually. It's like the All Star edition. It was like £3.
Yeah, no, it's not my thing.
It's like that's something you get on EA Access when it's free and you play for an hour.
Yeah,
When you're bored, it takes longer to download it than it does to get bored of it.
yeah, pretty much.
Something else you mentioning Hitman reminded me, and plus co-op for Hitman is that we still need to play the Splinter Cell Convictions co-op, assuming that the servers are still there. I don't know if it was P2P or if it was server-based, the co-op.
Don't know. Well, I'll have to have a look. I think I've still got it installed. I'll have to have a butcher's.
I think they might, because I think a couple of studios, when their games have gone backwards compatible on Xbox One, have re-spun up a server just because they've seen that people are going onto it and they've gone, okay, yeah, we might spin our server back up for it just for a little while people start playing it again.
Yeah.
Fun fact from the weekend with Apex Legends going live.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2's multiplayer has had a massive spike in people playing it.
Nice.
So's Frontier Defense, the Horde mode.
Yeah. Well, Horde mode was quite cool.
Yeah, especially the fucking guys, the narrators.
Yeah. I was quite the fan of Horde mode, and again, playing that with you was a fucking laugh.
Yep.
But you got to think. So Apex Legends. So I have you played Apex Legends yet?
No, I fired Apex Legends up, and the opening sequence where the with the bar
Yeah,
and the guy there is Blisk,
yeah,
and it's just like I got that part out, and it was like then it loaded up the menu, and I was like, I don't need to play this anymore. I've had Blisk tell me that they kill you, they're better. You kill them, you're better. I
yeah,
was like, I'm happy now. I've had Blisk. I
yeah.
don't need to play the game anymore.
So to be fair, I've had I think 2 games of Apex Legends, and it was quite fun. But again, probably would be better with your mates. Uh, but the thing that I thought of, right, and I know this is a really kind of cynical way of looking at things. So Apex Legends is an EA published, Respawn Entertainment built battle royale game that's free.
Yep.
Yeah. Why on earth have they done that when EA haven't even put out their battle royale offering for Battlefield yet? I'm not being funny. EA are complaining that the sales for Battlefield 5 are down and they're disappointing. And it's probably because a big portion of that's probably because it is only half released. Like there was
Yeah.
a war story missing, and Firestorm, I think it's called for the Battle Royale, is missing. Now instead of releasing Firestorm, they've just insta released a new free to play Battle Royale game. Now, if your choices are free to play Battle Royale game from the guys that made Titanfall 2, that everybody that played it seems to be loving, or crowbarred in Battle Royale game in Battlefield.
I think it's down to the studio making it. I think that the guys behind Respawn actually really enjoyed making Apex when from what I've read and heard from their interviews, they don't seem like they're under duress whatsoever from EA for releasing a battle royale game based on the
No,
Titanfall universe. They seem like they actually enjoyed making it, and it is, from all intents and purposes, a Fortnite beta.
yes,
It's the first battle royale game that's actually going head to head with Fortnite
yeah, and it's
because
doing well.
because the Minecraft Hunger Games
Yeah,
is its own kettle of fish
yep,
in the Minecraft universe. Fortnite and Apex are in together. PUBG and Blackout are in together, and when Firestorm comes around, will probably fit in with PUBG and Blackout.
yeah,
I don't really know how the Battlefield one's going to work, being that it's going to be essentially a World War II battle royale game.
yep.
It's going to feature all of the battle royale stuff from that, but I'm not excited for Firestorm. I'll give it that much. And the trailer for the latest round of Lightning Strikes, Tides of War
Yeah.
stuff that is the next couple of months um, does not excite me from what I read of it
No.
in any kind of way. And I think the battle royale coming out for Battlefield, I don't think that the sales were hurt based on Battle Royale not being in it. I think EA really just went after DICE for no reason on that one.
No, I don't think the Battle Royale is the sole reason that it's not done well, but I do think promising a Battle Royale game and then not putting it in your game for release, and now 6 months later it still isn't there.
Yeah,
You
but
know, I
the Battlefield's always had a weird organic cycle of its even with its more frequent releases that they've been putting out for it, it's still been once every 2 years
yeah,
as opposed to once every year Call of Duty style. I mean, wasn't it going to be Battlefield and then Medal of Honor the following year, and then
well,
Medal of Honor
yeah, and
was universally hated.
but this is it. It was that for 4 years though. So you had Battlefield 3, Medal of Honor, Battlefield 4, Medal of Honor, Warfighter. I think that's the order it went in.
Yeah,
Yeah. So actually, you did get a yearly release. It was just instead of being like Call of Duty, where you'd have Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty World at War, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Instead of it was. Cause let's be fair about this. Medal of Honor was basically Battlefield.
yeah,
It
it
was
was
it
Battlefield
was
small scale.
repurposed Battlefield.
Yeah, it
So
was tiny field.
yeah, so it may as well have been a yearly release schedule. and everyone was doing that. I don't think there's any issue with that, but I do think you can't bitch and moan about your game not selling well, not delivering promised parts of your game, but delivering them elsewhere for free.
Yeah.
I think that's poor. I'm not, it's no one's. It's EA's fault. It's not Respawn's fault. It's not DICE's fault. I like both DICE and Respawn, but Apex Legends is actually really fun. It's got a couple of interesting mechanics that even just playing on my own with a couple of randoms, I really liked. It's got some interesting ideas that I think as the weeks and months go on will only be made better. And I'm hoping it's still alive in a few weeks when we get a bit of a lull and there's no big new games coming out, so I can drag you and Leon to play again, because I really, really want to play Apex with you guys.
I really want to play Apex just in general. And I think that when I went back and played Titanfall 2 very recently, haven't even got remotely close to finishing it, trying to play on the hardest fucking difficulty.
Yeah.
That game's bastard hard.
Yes, it is.
But I thought, fuck it, let's try and play on the hardest difficulty. Let's try and smash out a couple of those extra achievements that I've not managed to do yet. And again, finish the story, because the story's spectacular.
Yeah. But no matter what, Apex is still a Battle Royale game, and I still don't particularly like Battle Royale games.
No. And the one and done situation of a Battle Royale game, as long as once you've died, you can quit and go start another game pretty quickly.
You can.
But with Battlefield, there is a half-assed attempt at a Battle Royale feature in Battlefield with the third round of most of Grand Operations on the 4 maps that there are for Grand Operations. The third round is if neither team wins decisively on it, then by the time that the timer expires, it goes into a Battle Royale style one and done, but you're still 32 versus 32.
Okay.
And the map slowly shrinks with mortar fire or artillery fire, making the map shrink in.
Yeah.
But 32 versus 32 Battle Royale map shrinkage thing doesn't work as well as I'm guessing they kind of hoped that it would. You all running into a small area that gets smaller and smaller and just shooting at each other until eventually everyone's died except for the last remaining member of whichever team wins, or the last number of things.
Yeah.
It's like a elimination Survivor Series match. 32-man Survivor Series traditional tag team match is not my idea of fun.
No.
To decide a winner for that, for the third round of a Grand Operations.
No.
Bearing in mind that a third round of Grand Operations could be after losing the first 2 rounds or winning the first 2 rounds. You still go into the third round where it doesn't really matter, but for some reason it still needs to have a decisive victor.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for the first 2 rounds. No, it doesn't really matter. You could the first round has to have a winner one way or the other. You either destroy the 4 bases or you don't destroy the 4 bases within the time or the number of tickets. It's either one or the other, and whichever team it wins. The second round is based on if one team manages to clear the other team's tickets out, they win. If the timer expires, it's a draw. And then it moves on to the third round. If the timer expires and the scores are even on the third round, then that's it. It goes into the Battle Royale tag team match.
No, I'm good.
But from what I've played of Battlefield, the Battle Royale mode is not going to be great.
No. I don't think Battle Royale works in a game like Battlefield, which is such a huge long-range style game. Yeah. I don't think it would, but we'll see.
It'll be interesting to see what it's like when you land on a big Battlefield map.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some classic Battlefield maps that are huge. Most of them are huge and open and empty. Like, what was the Battlefield 3 or 4 had the biggest battlefield map in history,
Yeah.
and it was fucking huge, but it was just a massive open desert.
Yep. It was boring.
It's like there's nothing here. It's
Yeah.
like we're all well and good having the biggest map in Battlefield history, but you've got nothing.
Yeah.
You,
That's like when you get like Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead or Just Cause going. It's got the biggest open world map in the history of all open worlds. That's great. There's nothing happening in it.
Grand Theft Auto is less of a problem because it's like it's the biggest Grand Theft Auto map ever, but they've got but everyone still just chokes around that one city
Yeah.
because that's the city.
Yeah. But
It's
it's more
where
like,
everything
like for
is.
Just Cause, isn't it? Like Just Cause is like 12 islands, 9 continents, and 11,000 time zones worth of map. Great. What am I doing in it? Nothing. Awesome.
What am I doing? You're tying this thing to an aeroplane while it
Yeah.
flies away.
Tie this cow to this car and see what happens.
Tie this tank
Yeah.
to this fucking shark.
Yeah. I don't need an enormous map to do that.
No.
Uh, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. What else? Have you been playing anything else?
So I also played Madden 19. Not sure how much more Madden 19 I'm going to play now because I finished Longshot Homecoming.
How long did that take? Because
Too long.
I think I finished Longshot 1 in like 2.5 hours.
So you could finish Longshot Homecoming in about 3 hours if you are perfect,
Okay.
because it's the same mechanic as what Longshot 1 was, where it's cutscene of talking, and then you get to play a bit as playing as Devin.
Remember a QuickTime event?
But it's not quick time events anymore. It's you playing as the third third stroke fourth choice quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah,
already not interested.
it doesn't matter who you picked at the end of the first one. It's straight up opening bit of dialogue is you get cut from the team that you picked. I was the Minnesota Vikings, and it comes up you were cut from that team and picked up by the Dallas Cowboys, and it's like week 3 of preseason that you get called up for your first drive, and you have to score a touchdown. If you don't score a touchdown, you get another attempt at scoring a touchdown, that same touchdown, because you need to do it.
Yeah.
And then
I'm not going to bother.
added into the story of this is you get to be Colt
Oh, okay.
as he tries to reignite his career with the Miami Dolphins
Wait,
for
what?
one game at the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I'm not interested. Not
Because
even remotely.
do you want to know what's even more hilarious?
Go on then.
For that one game that you try and revive your career with the Miami Dolphins, it doesn't matter if you score the touchdown. It doesn't matter if you do really well as punt returner, stroke wide receiver. You get cut by the Miami Dolphins and you go back to coaching the Bullfrogs, the high school football team that you played for with Devin.
Yeah, I'm not playing Longshot.
And okay, this is going to be a spoiler for Longshot 1. You know how it has that really poignant and emotional situation of the fact that you have Devin's dad and he's actually dead by the time you get playing.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's in there. I don't know why they needed to add that whatsoever.
Awesome.
It was completely pointless in
Yeah.
Longshot 1.
Yeah.
It's the coach in Longshot 2 dies
Okay.
because he has a stroke at the time when you get the phone call from the Dolphins to go try out.
Wait, while he's on the phone to you?
No, you're on the phone to the Miami Dolphins as
Okay.
Colt. He phones up the coach, then runs over there to tell him the news, to see that he's had a stroke and is like dying in his chair. The next scene is you in the hospital with him, then you going off to Miami for your tryout to then find out that he died before your first game.
Okay.
You then play your first game, get cut, and sent back to Texas to be the coach for the Bullfrogs. And then you have to save their season, save the town, donate loads of money so that you get a stadium because apparently the stadium is you're being merged with another team or something. It's really not a very good story.
Oh my god. This shit needs to stop. I don't need a story mode in my fucking NFL game. FIFA doesn't need a story mode. NHL doesn't need a story mode. It doesn't need to happen. Just let people fucking play football.
That's the thing is that there's always been a kind of story mode in the career mode. It
Yeah,
exists. It exists for that exact reason.
but
There's a
with it,
career mode. You play as yourself, or you play as whoever you fucking want, as a player, as a manager, as the GM, as the fucking owner of the football franchise. It doesn't really matter. You don't need to have a playable character that is mocapped,
nope.
along with loads of other fucking actors who get mocapped, including the fact that Colt now has a sister, well, half sister that he didn't know about before.
But is this gonna be like FIFA? Does she play football as well?
No, she doesn't.
She's a netball
She's
player.
her sole purpose, so far from what I've worked out, is that she knows sign language.
Okay.
Because the new quarterback that takes over after Colts becomes the coach is deaf.
Okay.
So she knows sign language so that she can sign plays to him because he's deaf and can lip read.
I mean, there are some logistical issues with that.
Yep.
As an NFL fan, I can see several logistical issues with that.
Yep. A deaf quarterback.
Well, actually, you can't do that covering your mouth shit when you talk if you're having to sign at people.
Well, unless every team's going to pay to have someone who knows sign language, which they probably already have.
It doesn't. Yeah, wouldn't be hard to just pay for a translator.
No. I'm pretty sure every team does have one just on the books, just in case someone decides to do sign language to do play calls through signing.
To be honest, you need someone that knows sign language to understand what the fucking refs are doing half the time.
True. Actually, I'm surprised that they don't. I'm guessing similar to baseball, they have like the coach making plays and doing everything using fucking arm motions
Yeah.
to try and show off what it is that he's trying to tell them.
But this is it, you see, because they don't do that in football now because they have mics in.
Yeah, they have mics and they have the ability to talk to the team
Yeah.
up until the last 15 seconds of the clock. But at the same time, they also have code where they talk about the way that they're going to line up, the routes they're all going to run, the type of throw, the level of the wind, the color of the underpants.
Yeah.
It's all in code.
All
that
important stuff when you're playing EA's Madden NFL.
That really fucked me off though. When Longshot Season 1, where it treated you like a complete fucking toolbox for when you wanted to call out the code for what it is that you're going to run for the play.
Yeah.
Which actually shows up in Longshot Season 2 because the first thing that Devin does is he goes out to the field and after being told by the new coach what it is that they're going to run, and he fucks it up immediately.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. That is Any Given Sunday. It's what Jamie Foxx does, his third snap in Any Given Sunday. And I'd rather just watch that.
Yeah.
It's on for about as long as Longshot 1 was as well. So
Yeah. Longshot Season 2 is just not entertaining. And you know how in Longshot Season 1 they had moments where you got to make choices based on what was going on, how you felt.
Yeah.
You could pick one response and it would improve the number of fans you got, but it would decrease what people liked about you in terms of teams, for instance.
Yeah.
And the other way around. So the teams would like you more, but you'd have less fans because you were less marketable or something, whatever the fuck it was. And at the very end, you got to pick which team it was that you wanted to play for because it made a massive difference in Season 2 which team you picked because you ended up at the Dallas Cowboys anyway, and then afterwards at the fucking Titans.
Nice.
No, it wasn't even the Titans. It was Houston.
Hey, I like the Texans.
You end up being traded from the Cowboys to the Texans.
I am quite the fan of Houston, so now I'm slightly more interested. But
Yeah,
nah, I'm not. Longshot, when I played it last year, Longshot was a laugh, but it's not something I can get behind as a regular addition to my game. I'm not going to buy Madden just to play Longshot. What I am going to do is install Madden every year when it goes free to play. I'm going to get my game. I'm going to play for a bit and win the Super Bowl and then
yeah.
uninstall it.
So the very last game of the season is the Texans. Well, I said the very last game of the season. The very last game of the story of Longshot is the Texans at the Patriots. And just before this game, it has the only time that there is a choice that comes up, and you get the choice of when they ask Devin what kind of quarterback he wants to model himself after. Your choices are either uh, the obvious one of Tom Brady, the slightly less obvious but interesting option of Cam Newton, or the Texans QB, who isn't Devin Wade. And I can't remember the fucking guy's name. I know it's really bad, but I can't remember his name.
No, couldn't tell you.
No.
Wait,
But
I'm gonna while you talk, I'm
okay,
gonna go and look
yeah.
because I
So
think I know who it is, and if it is, it's really bad that I didn't know who it was.
exactly, that's why I'm really annoyed that I can't remember who it was because I think I should know who the Texans QB is. But
No, it's
you
Deshaun
get
Watson.
that's it, yeah, Deshaun Watson. But you get to pick one of those three as the only choice in the game. Before going up against the Patriots, you get to choose which QB you want to be most like. I selected Cam Newton because Cam Newton's actually a really good fucking QB.
Yes, he is.
And I didn't want to model my Devin Wade's career after Tom Brady because the number of times I've already run at this point, I'd already run like 6 touchdowns, which in the space of like 3 games is more than Tom Brady's managed in like most of his career.
True, but Tom Brady has 6 Super Bowl championships.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna slide that in there.
yeah, 6 Deflategate Super Bowl champions.
Hey, winning's winning, man.
Yeah, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you cheated or not. It doesn't
No,
you won?
no one cares about the asterisks in the history books. All they care
No.
about is those rings.
Yeah, it's true. And I wish the Minnesota Vikings could actually go to a Super Bowl just once.
So did the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. So I picked Cam Newton because well, why just fuck it, why not? It
Newton's
didn't
that.
really make doesn't make any difference as far as this doesn't really matter. But you go up against Tom Brady, and it was quite hilarious that the commentator comes over the announces saying that Devin Wade is up against. It's funny talking about how he's up against Tom Brady when in reality he's not actually up against Tom Brady. He's up against the Patriots defense,
Yeah, fair
which
enough.
is exceptionally poignant for the fact that he's commentating on American football. But
Yeah,
he's not wrong. He is up against the defense.
yeah,
But the game doesn't let you lose. If you throw three or you don't make a first down in the three, well, quick games that you play of trying to score touchdowns. If you don't score a touchdown at the end of any of those three, it comes up with a message saying, please try again.
fair enough.
So it doesn't let you fail. It's
What's
really
the
fucking
point? Then what's the
infuriating.
point?
But this was my argument the entire time I've been playing Longshot for it, is that you look at it and you go, this is actually a really cool mechanic. You're playing American football. There is a certain amount of failure that you can get. You throw a ball, there's always the opportunity that you made the wrong choice,
Yeah,
and the ball's going to go either out of bounds, not be caught, be intercepted, be patted down, you get sacked. There's so many variables that if you're not paying complete and perfect attention to, just like in a real game of American football,
yeah,
there's so many things that can go wrong that prevent you from scoring a touchdown on any given drive. Problem with Longshot is that every time you get a drive, you have to score a touchdown, otherwise the game doesn't let you continue.
okay.
And it shouldn't be like that. If you're going to make it so that I can't continue without scoring a touchdown, make it so that I can't fail. The number of times when I've thrown a pass that has been questionable and the dude's caught it, okay, yes, there is an element amount of fact that okay, they're not letting me foul, but the number of times when I've thrown a pass which has probably seemed like the most obvious and likely choice and easiest option, and then all of a sudden one of the linebackers decides to pull out of his ass the greatest ever dive
Yeah.
to tip the ball away when he was nowhere fucking near it. I've never seen a linebacker dive the way that I've seen any of them to stop the ball go to the intended target. We're talking like some like 2 yard leap, just like full on goalkeeper
Yeah.
launch himself at the ball to tip it away from the dude who's trying to catch it.
Nice.
I never have I ever seen anyone attempt it, let alone actually succeed at doing it. Or little things where the ball's flying over and he just like pats the ball away at the last second. Or my least favorite thing, which is that a dude will bring the ball down with a catch and then be immediately hit, or before he even gets the chance, as the ball is literally he is catching it and he's getting fucking annihilated. In the Super Bowl, we saw that you need to have the ball and have a chance to become a receiver before you can be hit. There was a call in that exact thing. This game
Yeah.
does not follow that rule. It's literally you can be hit at any given fucking moment you want.
Yeah.
And no pass interference calls, nothing.
Yeah, but it's a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a shame. I fancied Longshot a little bit. I don't anymore.
It's not. I would not recommend playing Longshot unless you were playing it for free, which unfortunately it's currently on EA Access for free. So
Yeah.
at some point you will play Madden. Once the story ends and you get to that 99% completion and it gives you the option to continue, do you know what your options are for continuing?
Go on then.
You get to pick to play as Colt, and therefore it takes you into Ultimate Team,
Okay.
or you get to continue playing as Devin, and you continue the career mode as Devin in like regular franchise mode,
No,
playing as the Texans.
I'm good.
My long shot is permanently sat at 99% because I'm not finishing either of those things.
Fair enough.
I just don't care enough.
No.
I will probably end up just dropping, taking the download off of my console. I finished Longshot Homecoming. It was not great. It wasn't really that good, and probably won't ever play Longshot 3 if it happens.
No. Oh well, that's a shame.
So that's me done for what it was that I played.
Fair enough. Well, we're about to hit 2 hours.
That's not bad.
It's not. So I will be really, 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 really quick with my last one. I have to be really quick because pretty much anything I say about it is a fucking spoiler. So
Yeah.
I will very briefly just say I finally got around to playing episode 2 of Life is Strange Season 2. Episode 2 of Life is Strange Season 2 is okay. I'm not convinced yet by Life is Strange Season 2. I think the problem with Life is Strange 2 at the moment is it's like a road movie. So with Life is Strange 1, obviously I still won't spoil anything for Life is Strange 1 because it's just one of those. I don't think you ever should. But you get to spend 5 episodes of this game in the same place. So you're at home, you're at the restaurant, you're at the school. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
The junkyard. Yeah? So, because you played Life is Strange 1, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So, all the support characters you get to know across multiple episodes. Obviously, you only see some briefly, you see some more than you see others. But you get to know these characters. And the problem I've got with Life is Strange 2 is that because of the kind of game it is, you don't.
All right.
You meet a really, really cool character in episode 1, helps you out, then he fucks off.
Yay.
Great. And the same thing happens in episode 2. I'm like, I like the brothers in Life is Strange 2. I like them more now I've got to the end of episode 2. But it hasn't clicked with me the way the first one did. I will say I was really glad because nothing happened with it in the first episode. I'm glad that so you get obviously with Life is Strange as it boots up, it goes, this game is a choice-based game and blah 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 blah, and all of your choices will make a difference across the game, and all your decisions will affect the game. Blah, blah, blah. And then right at the bottom it says, "The awesome adventures of Captain Spirit. Game save loaded." I was like, "Woohoo!"
Pucker.
I looked at it, I went, "Thank Christ for that," because I was really worried that nothing was actually going to happen. I will not spoil anything, but it is worth playing, especially if you went through and did everything in Captain Spirit. Because there were a couple of bits, so after I finished playing it through, I wanted to do the secret bits. So I watched a video to show me where all the secret bits were, and I went back and did them. And obviously, some of it was different, so he had clearly made different decisions when he was playing Captain Spirit to what I did, because things were clearly completely fucking different. And I remember doing certain bits in Captain Spirit that made these things happen. I'm being as fucking vague as I can. But
yeah,
the save, it matters and it doesn't. But it kind of does. So definitely go and play Captain Spirit first. It was free. Why wouldn't you have done? And then go play Life is Strange 2. It does once it gets to the end, it's much better, but it does feel like a bit of a slog through maybe the first half of the game. Of that episode. It's still really good, but it hasn't quite clicked in the way Life is Strange 1 did. But I'm looking at Life is Strange 1 with rose-tinted goggles. I got to the end of episode 1 of Life is Strange and fucking hated it. And now it's one of my favourite games. You know?
Yeah.
So maybe I'll get to the end of this one and go, this is also one of my favourite games. But yeah, that was it. Life is Strange 2, episode 2, came out last week or the week before. Finally got it installed and played at the weekend, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Life is Strange episode 1, season 1, episode 1 was very angsty teen drama, not great. But then the rest of the story got very dark very quickly, very beautiful at the same time.
Yeah,
and
it got very Lynchian for me, the first season, which I really like. That speaks to me, you know, my the film lover in me. If you're going to make something dark and David Lynch-like.
And it's very easy to fall in love with the characters in that game in such a way that you get to the final decision, and it's really very clear which option you choose based on that.
And I think I mentioned it before as well, actually, but there's a comic book series at the moment. 3 of 4 parts are out. Just Life is Strange, the comic book series, and it follows on from the end of Life is Strange 1.
Okay, so there is a specific canon ending.
Well, let's just say, go and have a read of the comics.
Does it have any bearing on Life is Strange Season 2?
Not so far.
Not so far.
Not so far.
But from what you've played of 2, you're enjoying it so far, kind of as much. Well, not as much as 1, but
I'm still enjoying it. I'm still looking forward to episodes 3 to 5. I just thought it stumbled a little bit at the beginning of this episode. By the time you get to the end, I was all in. By the time I got to the end, and I was like, Jesus Christ, please God, don't make me wait 2.5 months for the next episode. But it did take a little longer this time around. I'm sure by the time I get to the end of episode 5, I'm sure it will be worth playing. Almost positive you'd get a better experience if you played it all in one go. I just refuse to fucking wait that long and have anything spoiled for me.
I'm quite lucky in that I don't know how I'm very good at avoiding spoilers, because I've avoided so many spoilers of everything that I've done all the time, including I managed to avoid all of the spoilers from Life is Strange 1 until I played it all when they released the final disc version of it and I rented it. I really wanted Life is Strange Season 2 to be a game that I played episodically as the episodes came out. And I think I missed out on the boat of it being exceptionally cheap that one time.
Yeah, it is.
I still haven't decided whether or not I will buy all of Life is Strange 2 and then play it
Yeah.
episodically as the episodes come out, or just wait for the disc version and rent that
Have you
instead.
played Before the Storm yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, dude, you have to play Before the Storm.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass.
It probably is.
I'm almost certain it's on Game Pass. My god. Like, up there with Season 1 of Life is Strange for me. And it's... The mechanics are slightly different because you play as Chloe, not as Max. So obviously there's a slight change.
Yeah.
Obviously it's set, surprise, before the storm.
Spoilers, man. Come on. Fucking hell.
But there's kind of this... There are two things in it. As all the way through the game, there's kind of like this atmospheric sense of foreboding because you know what's coming.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming you wouldn't play the first, Before the Storm without playing the first one.
No, play Life is Strange 1 first and then play the prequel. That's the only way it works. You will not get the full effect of Before the Storm if you haven't already finished Life is Strange 1.
I do need to play Before the Storm because I want to play it just because I liked the first one that much, and Before the Storm makes sense. I'm just trying to think of ways that Before the Storm would be better to play first or as a prequel rather than knowing what's going to happen.
I'm certainly not going to say it on something that's going to go out in the public space, but you play as Chloe when she first meets Rachel.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it there. That's all you need to know. There is kind of this horrible sense of foreboding through the whole. I think it's only 3 episodes, but they're like 3 to 4 hours long, so they're still quite long episodes. It's quite a long game. And then when you get to the end, maybe other people have a different reaction to me. I know a couple of people that played and just really liked it, but maybe not as much as I did. But there was just this heart in my arse moment. I was like, this is just horrible. But again, because I knew what was going to happen, and you can't help but go, oh Jesus, this is terrible. Oh my God, this is fucking horrible. But yeah, absolutely. If you get the chance, mate, you have to play Before the Storm, and you'll bang it out in a weekend, in a day. It's outstanding. I hope I get to the end of season 2 of Life is Strange, and I feel the same way I do about season 1 and Before the Storm. And yeah, if you've done season 1, go read the comic book, because the comic book is a couple of quid an issue. It's fucking great. It really is, and it doesn't do what you think it's going to do. I've read and reviewed each episode so far, or each issue so far, for Set the Tape, and I'm sitting there going, come on, fucking get episode 4 because I need to fucking know what happens. I need to know what's going on. This is fucking insane. Yeah, it, even as a fan, it pulled the rug out from under me, like towards the end of issue 3. It really fucking threw me. It was great. I'm going to stop gushing about Life is Strange now, because I need to go to bed at some point.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Recommendation?
I don't know what's out and about. I don't know. Oh, I'll tell you what, because I also started playing it, but I didn't want to talk about it because I haven't finished it yet. On Xbox Games with Gold is Bloodstained something. I've forgotten what it's called. It's the Castlevania game that's not really Castlevania. Bloodstained.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's called Bloodstained.
Bloodstained.
I can't remember
Cool.
the subtitle. And the only thing is, I want to say Symphony of the Night, but it is not fucking Symphony of the Night, because that's goddamn Castlevania. And right now, I can hear Matt throwing things at whatever he's listening to me talking on, because he knows what it is.
Ritual of the Night?
Something like that. It's
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Yeah, there you go. It's on Games with Gold, and I've only done 1 level so far, but it was fucking great. And I didn't want to just play a little bit and then move on. I'm gonna sit. It's gonna take like 2 hours to finish, so I'm just gonna sit down like over the weekend and just bash through the whole lot. But yeah, that's my recommendation.
My recommendation is that the Anthem 10-hour trial is on EA Access.
Nice.
Yep. So you can play Anthem for 10 hours, if you can last 10 hours, Brooker, on playing Anthem from Friday the 15th up until when you run out of 10 hours, because the game actually goes live on the 22nd.
Right, so hold on. So the Anthem 10-hour demo, Crackdown 3, and Far Cry New Dawn, all on the same day.
And Jump Force, and what was that other game that we mentioned earlier that I can't remember?
Metro?
There was Metro.
Metro.
Yeah, Metro's out.
Fucking
There's
yeah.
got
I'm not
15th
playing
of Feb.
Anthem, mate.
15th of Feb is a big game this year. Big
Yeah.
day this year. The day of Valentine's Day, when all of the boyfriends have realised that they've spent way too much money on their partners the day before. They just need to just sit at home in their pants and play video games, waiting for that phone call to find out that their missus is pregnant.
That's what you should do. That's what you should do. That's what everybody does. So yeah, well, yeah, Valentine's Day. What was that, Thursday?
Yep.
I don't think I'm doing anything Thursday. No, I know what I'm doing Thursday. I'm watching a film that I bought today, but I'm not going to have time to watch until Thursday.
Oh. I might watch Venom on Thursday.
Do it.
I haven't watched Venom since it was in the cinema, and I bought it on iTunes, so...
Does look nice in 4K.
Yeah, loving my 4K Apple TV. I've bought so many films on just like on my phone as and when, or on the internet, just logging into my Apple account, just going, ooh, that's available. I'm going to buy that, and then just wait for it to, and then at some point later, just fire up the Apple TV. Although I keep losing the remote. It's fucking tiny. That thing is fucking tiny.
It's terrible. It's the worst thing about it is that tiny little fucking Siri remote.
Just glad that I can control it with my fucking phone.
Exactly.
I do like the fact the Apple TV has Apple Music to it, so at the moment I keep firing up the Apple TV just to play music.
Yeah, man. Why not?
Brooker, where can people find you until the next podcast?
Twitter. Over on Twitter, I'm at Brooker411.
Good.
That's it.
Excellent. I'm on Twitter, the John_CU. Xbox Live is Long Dong Silver. Machine King 90 on the PlayStation, if I ever can be bothered to fire it back up again, as we've proven from today that I don't do it very often. Again, Switch friend code is on my Twitter somewhere. I don't know, I'm on Steam, but I only ever play Football Manager. This is going on a lot longer than I really wanted it to.
That's right, I'll cut it all out.
If you're not interested in us as individuals, as a team and legends that we are, we have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I actually put an Instagram post out this weekend because I 1000G'd something for the first time in a little while. I also bought a new controller recently since the last episode, which is very pretty.
Oh, you got a nice shiny purple one.
Yeah, purple and blue, like pearlescent effect. It's really nice.
Very nice.
It is fucking gorgeous, mate.
Yeah.
And I can't sing the praises of custom controllers enough about it.
Yeah, I do need to save my pennies and get myself a nice scuff controller.
Yeah, but it's like a really good weight because it's slightly different weighted to the Microsoft standard.
So
nice. It's nicely weighted. The paddles feel really, really responsive. The thumbsticks themselves feel a lot smoother because they're not completely worn out like my ones are.
Yeah.
The triggers still feel quite responsive again because they're not worn out, and the grips aren't glued down hilariously like my ones were. Because the number of times I got air bubbles underneath them, because the standard Microsoft grips are only stuck down by a single piece of tack.
Fair enough.
Seriously, someone actually pulled one of them apart, and there was like literally just like the tiniest bit of glue holding down all of the grips.
Nice.
So there's no reason. That's the reason to why you get air bubbles on them so easily.
Yeah. Touch wood. I've done all right with my Elite controller, apart from hoovering up one of the standard size thumbsticks.
Yeah, seriously, it's a number of my friends that have like had to send theirs back, and I think Lee sent his back once. I know Dunny's definitely sent his back twice or even 3 times.
Yeah.
It's like, and then I kept saying this, like, well, mine's absolutely fine. I've had mine since launch, and it's like it's not had a single issue. And then in the space of like 2 months, it went from being usable to just not usable from the number of times I'd run repairs on it.
Oh, gutted.
Yeah. So that's why I bought a new one, and it's all pretty.
Nice.
So yeah. Character unlock, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, MySpace, Bebo. All the good social medias.
Tinder, Grinder.
Yep. Plenty of Fish and Bumble as well, I guess. I don't know any others. Friends Reunited. Ancestry.com.
Dude, wrap it up. Sitting there dying for a piss.
I'm kind of need a piss as well. It's just, I think that's probably why I'm like motoring on, just because I need a piss badly, and I'm trying to distract myself from needing a piss. Just say goodbye, Brooks. Just say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.